Yeah, sure.
Okay, we now have South Carolina coach Frank Martin. He'll make an opening comment, and then we'll take questions.
Unbelievable, exciting week for us for obvious reasons, and I'm so happy for our players, for our alums, for our former players, for the administration that believed in me and gave me a chance, and here we are, and it's been 5 years worth of work by everybody involved to make this a reality, and now we're excited for the opportunity.
David Cloninger with the State. Frank, have you sensed a more loose atmosphere around the kids as they've gotten ready for this week? A more, I guess, a fancy-free kind of thing, no pressure on them?
Yeah, I think, I don't know if I'm the kind of person that enjoys work in that kind of freelance mode, just like everybody have a good time and hug and kiss and high-five each other. I just think when there's a time for that and a time to work. But the pressure part, I think there's no doubt. I think there's absolutely zero doubt that, last year we set a school record for wins, and it wasn't good enough, plain and simple. We can all complain, whatever, it's irrelevant. It wasn't good enough. And I think as we're coming down the stretch, we played some real hard games against postseason teams and road games. And I think our guys kind of felt that a little bit. And anytime you bog yourself down a little bit, you don't perform as well. So from that standpoint, there's no doubt. I think our guys are in an unbelievable place right now mentally. And they've been great this week.
Scott?
Coach Scott Kiefer with the Greenville News. The last time you faced Andrew Rousey, albeit at UNCAA a few years back, he had 30 points in that game.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you've impressed upon your players that they may want to guard him a little more closely this time?
Yeah, we weren't as bad as it makes it sound. He's just a real good player. We guarded him pretty good that day. He knows how to play. It's hard. It's hard to defend real good players. It's not as easy as it sounds. And we also weren't. My guys, just like him, were young. They were like Sindarius, Dwayne. They're in the same class he is, so they were all young. So defensively, we weren't as good as we needed to be yet at that time. We're much better defensively, but you know what? He's playing his tail off right now. I watched some of their games early this year, and he's playing at a completely different place right now. I mean, he's got that confidence going. He's aggressive. He's got that unbelievable knack to get to the foul line with his shot fakes. And if you're late on any coverage, that ball's in the net. And he's a real good player. Yeah, I didn't have to say a word to our players. Our guys, they remember.
Kyle Heck, Spurs and Feathers. You've been in the NCAA tournament before. Obviously, none of the players have. What's the main thing you've stressed to them about what they need to do and what differences there may be when you get here?
I showed them a picture of me on March 27th, 2012, which is right after I coached my last NCAA game, and I showed them a picture of me last Sunday. And I told them, if you take 5 years between appearances, this is how you look. And I've tried to share what I know, what I've lived, what our players that I've coached that have been in it, what they shared with me. I've tried to share that with them, with the understanding that they've earned the right to be here. That this wasn't like, let's just kind of draw names out of a hat and, oh my God, we're in this thing. Wow, do we belong? No, we've earned the right to be here. And enjoy the moment, enjoy the ride. It can last a long time or it can be over quick. You don't control that, so don't worry about those things. Just enjoy the ride and just do everything in your power to play the best game that we've played all year. That's it. And at the end of the day, you've earned something special. They earned the right to be part of this exclusive club for this year. And that's something that they should be proud of and at the same time feel a lot of confidence in.
Pete Yacovelli, Associated Press. Frank, you had been to a number of NCAA tournaments. Does this experience, because of the 5 years in between, mean any more to you than the others?
They're all special, Pete. They're all different. Anytime you're in this event, I told my wife this morning, I said, I feel like a little kid. It's anytime you're part of this event, you can be here. You'd have to ask, Kay and Roy and some of those guys have been in it like forever, that if it, what it feels to them. But I can tell you, for me, it's incredible. It's every second that you're a part of this, it's an unbelievable feel, a joy. You realize how lucky you are that you're around so many special people that allow you to be a part of this, and it's a special deal. They're all different. Every team's different. Every year's different. The one thing that was satisfying at K-State the first time we went, and has been satisfying here, is that both schools had not been to it in a long time, and be able to be a part of the team that kind of returns makes it fun personally. One day I'll sit back and I'll say, it feels pretty good. It feels pretty good that you can take two different programs that hadn't been a part of it for a long time, and you were a part of the team that went back.
Heath Klein, 107.5 The Game. Coach, when you were at K-State, and I know you said they're all different, but you won your first game the 4 times you got there, most of which were seedings around this. Is there anything in common from how you won those kind of games you can apply to how you approach this one?
Yeah, the first year as a head coach, I didn't know what I was doing. I got no idea. I know we practiced real hard, and we were the 11th seed, and we played USC. And I had 2 guys on my team, that Bill Walker and Mike Beasley, and those 2 guys were just unbelievable that game. And that's why they're both pros. And we figured out a way to win, and the game ended, and I had no idea we'd won. It was just crazy. But all the other guys that were on the team were freshmen that year. Then we missed it a year. And then the following 3 years we went. And every time we went, we had returning players that got a taste of it. And then that drives you, because you understand what a special feeling it is to be a part of this. And it drives your guys to do things better, to be more aggressive, to be better decision makers so they don't make mistakes off the court, to be more on edge for off-season workouts, because they understand how hard it is to get here. Like Sindarius and Dwayne, the reason we got here this year, those 2 guys, Justin, PJ, Chris Silva, the disappointment of last year drove those guys. They didn't make excuses. They didn't blame. It drove them all off-season to prepare for this year. And that's why we're here this year. And now once you're in it, all the other guys are first-year guys. They don't know what's going on right now. But being a part of this, it's going to give them a taste. How does all that help us figure out a way to win tomorrow? I got no idea. We got to trust in who we are. That's all I've talked to our team about. It's been 6 months in the making of getting ready to become the team that we are. You got to trust in that, and you got to go play through that personality and that identity. And at the end of the day, it's either going to be good enough or it's not. That doesn't make us a good or a bad team. It just means that tomorrow night, at whatever time at night, heck, I used to be taking showers to go out of South Beach. Now I got to worry about coach a game at 10 o'clock at night. It's I can't stay away. I hope I don't nod off on the bench. But it's we got to be the best team that we can be tomorrow night.
Frank, since Asani joined the starting lineup, what does he give you on defense and really at the start of that game in those first 4 minutes?
Yeah, he just I thought he had been practicing real well, and and Mike, I kind of saw what I saw in PJ last year, just a first-year guy that was trying to take a deep breath and couldn't figure out when he can take that breath. And Sonny had practiced well, and he gives us another decision maker with the basketball. I thought our passing had gotten bad, and Sonny's one of our better passers. Defensively, we were getting ready to play a bunch of teams that play small, for lack of better words. So I thought, why not? If I'm going to try something to shake this up a little bit, why not now? And he did his part. He did his part. And Mike, I think Mike's playing a lot better again. I think that decision helped Mike kind of step back and take a deep breath and recompose himself a little bit.
Matt Velasquez from Wall Street Journal Sentinel. I know you said in the past that you have a friendship with Steve Wojciechowski. I just wanted to understand where that friendship came from, where it started, and how it's grown over time.
Well, first of all, I'm a fan of basketball, and watching him play was awesome. I wasn't very good, but when I tried to play, that's how I tried to play. And so from afar, I always respected him. And then the first day he got put on the road as an assistant by Coach K, him, Hugs, and I were at the same event, and Andy Kennedy, all four of us recruiting, and we spent the whole day together. And just conversations, and it was first day on the road, and we kind of hit it off. And over the years, we've shared scouter reports with one another. We've shared ideas. When he got hired at Marquette, we spent some time talking about my first year at K-State and some of the challenges and some of the things that I experienced. And then, he had to hire a trainer. And that's probably when we spent the most time as far as personally speaking about things. And he hired Brandon Yoder, who's a dear friend, an unbelievable trainer. And I think who Brandon has been for Wojo and their program has created unbelievable trust towards me and us. And I got a lot of respect for Woj. He's a star in this business. He's great. He's great for kids. He's watching his team play. It's a machine. They're playing. Everyone wants to talk about defensively. They're so good offensively. And then what's used against people is how many points they give up per game. That's because they score a lot of points. And to score a lot of points, you got to play very fast. So they're pretty good on defense. They fight you. If you remember Woj, he's not going to accept playing people that don't fight their tails off to get on the court. And they're good. They're good. They're fun to watch. I'm not enjoying watching them on tape right now, but and it's not going to be any fun guarding him. But I'm excited for him. Excited for what he's building.
Kid Bath from the Washington Post. As far as the 44 years since an NCAA tournament win for this program, what's your coaching philosophy on that? Is it something you avoid because of extra pressure, or is it something you address because of extra motivation, or something in between?
I don't know if that impacts us one way or the other, I'll be honest with you. First couple of years of South Carolina, I didn't even know that because, let's be honest, nobody really cared about what we were doing, so no one really spoke about it. But last year, once we started earning respect and it's kind of became popular, and this year, I'm not trying to sell our program here, I'm just telling you the truth, we're 13th in the country in total attendance. That means a lot of people are coming to watch our kids play. And with our guys being able to succeed again this year and get this bid, a lot of that starting to come up. I don't know if that impacts our guys one way or the other. I really don't. I can tell you personally, nothing would make me happier for us to eventually break that. I think it's when you go back and you think of some of the guys that have played at South Carolina, the incredible coaches that have coached at South Carolina over those 44 years. I think it's a remarkable, it's one of those stats that you're like, how's that happen? How's Frank McGuire not win an NCAA game since 1973? How did Eddie Fogler, Dave Odom, keep going? The names of the coaches and players that came through there, how's that happened? And I'd love the opportunity to be able, not for me selfishly, that doesn't do anything for me, but for all those former guys and our administrators and former coaches that sacrificed it, because this is hard. Getting here is hard. Winning here is even harder. To be able to accomplish that, I think would soothe a lot of people, would make a lot of people smile. And at the end of the day, that's what our job in life is to make others smile.
Bill?
Phil Kornblut, South Carolina Radio Network. Going back to Marquette's offense, in your preparation, how have you addressed dealing with their three-point shooting, and how do you feel about your three-point shooting defense at this stage of the season?
Yeah, am I in a better mood today, Phil? Last Sunday, you were worried about my mood.
Yeah, you seem a tad bit happier.
I am. I'm a bundle of joy, Phil. They're as good a passing and shooting team as we've played against. And anytime usually good shooting teams are very good passing teams. Usually teams that don't shoot well aren't very good passers. Their spacing is very good. They play fast. They're aggressive. Their ball screen offense is what they use to create separation from their shooters. They try and put you in situations where if your ball screen defense is not perfect, then you're forced to help. And when you help against a real good passing team, then usually means someone's getting shots. And they've got a lot of guys that can shoot it. One thing I know about our team, even when we didn't play great, and I go back, I don't think we played bad. We just didn't play as great as we did, I don't know, through early February. We had to go play some hard teams. I thought our three-point defense was still pretty good. It's got to be the best it's been all year tomorrow. It's our ball screen defense has to be tremendous, and then our perimeter defense has to be the best it's been all year. We got to. Here's something else they're great at: shot faking. They're unbelievable at shot faking and getting you up in the air and creating fouls that way. You got to keep them off the line. They don't miss free throws. So we have to be very disciplined defensively, but we've been that all year. So we just got to be real good at it tomorrow.
Coach, what's the main message you want to leave with your guys right before you step out on that court tomorrow night?
Yeah, just I've been kind of preaching to them all week about this. You go through decisions and benchings and disciplines and hugs and tears and all kinds of emotions that the season brings to you. So it hardens you. So it makes you understand how important it is that you play 40 minutes. Go out there and do it. Go out there and forget all the good and bad that's happened up to this point. Trust in who you are. Do your job with an unbelievable commitment to it, and play as close to in this tournament, you can play for 39 minutes and 52 seconds and get beat for those 8 seconds you didn't play well. You have to do your job best you can. And at the end of the day, enjoy the ride. It's a special, special thing, and it's something that they get to talk to their parents and their family and their children one day about the ride that they've taken me and everyone else in South Carolina on.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you.